Hello dear students, welcome to the video classes of class 7 science, and we are going to learn about chapter number 2, that is nutrition in animals. Students, this is the part second of this chapter, and in first part we have already discussed about the steps of animals nutrition, and especially we have discussed about the steps of nutrition in amoeba and the human being. And in this part, that is in part second, we are going to know about the steps of nutrition in case of ruminants or the grass eating animals. In this video, we are going to learn about the plant cell, because these ruminants are grass eating animals. Therefore students, it is very important to know about the plant and the plant cells. These are the structural and functional unit of the plant, and that is why it is important to us to know about it. Then we will study about the cellulose, what is cellulose, and then cellulose digesting bacteria. Ruminants are the organism in which these bacteria are present, and these are present in the stomach, and that is why it is important for us to know about the cellulose and these bacteria. Then we will discuss about nutrition in ruminants, digestive system of ruminants, and at the last we will discuss about the journey of food in the ruminants or the digestive tract of the ruminants. So let us discuss about them one by one. But before starting this, what do you think students? What is common among these organisms, among these animals? Try to give your answer. What is common among them? Here you can see the grass, goat, sheep, giraffe. What is common? If your answer is grass, they all are grass eating animals, then yes, you are right. These all animals are grass eaters, and they are also known as the ruminants. Students, as we can see in the image, these all animals, they all eat grasses and they will digest it also. But in case of human being, in case of our, we eat plant but we can't digest the cellulose enzyme or the plant cell wall. Okay, and how these ruminants, they will digest this plant cell or the cellulose, we have to discuss about it in this chapter. So in our case, in human beings, we cannot digest the cellulose or the cell wall of these plants, though we are eating it, but we can't digest it because we don't have that mechanism of digestion of the grass or the plants. So students, let us see what is plant cell. We all know cells are the structural and the functional unit of life in every organism. Students, these all organisms, we are the plants, animal, these organisms are made from the cell, but here we have to talk about the plant cell because these ruminants are eating the plants. So let us discuss about the plant cell. This plant cell is made up of different cell organelles. As you can see in the image, there is cytoplasm. Cytoplasm means whatever the present inside the cell, these all are known as the cytoplasm, or the things which are inside the cell, these are cytoplasm. So here there is cytoplasm, then there is nucleolus and nucleus. Students, nucleus, it is very essential part of any cell because it contains the genetic material or the chromosomes. What is chromosome? This is what which is transferred from one generation to the next generation, or you can say from parent to the child. So this is the chromosome which is transferred and it is present in the nucleus. Thereafter we have ribosomes. Ribosomes, it help in the formation of protein. Then we have chloroplast. We have already discussed about chloroplast in the chapter first, that is in the nutrition of plants. Thereafter we have amyloplast. So these are the group of amylose. And then we have peroxisomes, Golgi apparatus. This is also help in the formation of protein. Then we have mitochondria. Mitochondria is very important because it gives you energy by forming the ATP, adenose triphosphate. You will study about it in the later classes, in higher classes, and in this class you will just remember that this mitochondria, it is the powerhouse of the cell. Then we have vacuoles, students. uh, the main difference, the difference which is present in the plant cell and the animal cell is the vacuole. In plant cell the vacuole is present and it is very large. It occupies the more space in the plant cell, and thereafter this is cell membrane and this is cell wall. Students, the cell membrane, it is the innermost layer of the plant cell, whereas the cell wall, it is the outer layer of the cell, plant cell. Okay, so don't be confused between the cell membrane and the cell wall. Cell membrane is present inside, it is present innermost part, whereas the cell wall, it is present on the outer surface of the cell. And about the cell wall, this is what we have to talking, because this cell wall is made up of the cellulose. So here, what is cell wall? So cell wall is structural layer surrounding some type of cells just outside the cell membrane. As we have already discussed that it is present outside the cell membrane, and it is what which provide the toughness, flexibility and rigidity to the cell. So students, the function of the cell wall is to provide the toughness, flexibility and rigidity to the cell. And students, this will support the cell and also protect it from the outer environment, and therefore it is also act as the filtering mechanism. Filtering mechanism means the things which are outside the cell. Okay, if this is the cell, then the things which are outside the cell, if these things are try to come inside the cell, then they have to pass through the cell wall, and this cell wall is allowing the substance to come inside, or it also allows to go outside. So that is why it is also helping the filtering mechanism. So this cell wall, students, this is made up of cellulose, and also the cellulose is a molecule which consists of hundreds or sometimes thousands of carbon, hydrogen and oxygen atom. So students, this cellulose, it is made up of carbon, C stands for carbon, hydrogen and oxygen molecules. And you can also say that this cellulose is a polysaccharide made up of several glucose molecules. Means when different glucose molecules, they will unite it, they will join to form the cellulose molecule. So the cellulose, it is made by, or it is made up of several glucose molecules. Okay, and you can also understand it by the cellulose, it is the complex form, it is the complex form of the food, and it is made up of the several molecules of glucose. Thereafter, these cellulose, these are eaten by the grass eating animals or the herbivores, and they need a organ or the special mechanism to digest it. These cellulose, it is digested by the enzyme, that is cellulase. Cellulose is digested by the cellulase. C-E-L-A-S-E, cellulase. Okay, so this is the enzyme which digests the cellulase, and this enzyme is not present in human being. Okay, and this is present only by, this is produced only by some special bacteria or by some protozoans. So these bacteria or these protozoans are not present everywhere. These are not present in human being. Okay, these are present in the ruminants only, in the grass eating animals only. And these bacteria, what, how does it works? So this bacteria is producing the cellulose digesting enzyme, that is the cellulase. And this cellulase is digesting, it will break down the cellulose into the simple form, that is in the glucose molecules, only in the case of ruminants. So that is why, students, this cellulose is digested only by the grass eating animals, not by the human beings. In our case, in human being case, we cannot digest the cellulose, but we eat cellulose, we eat plant products, but we can't digest it. But students, this cellulose is also good for us. Even we can't digest it, but though it is good for us, because in our dietary fibers, okay, this cellulose is act as a fiber, and this fiber is known as the dietary fiber, and this will increases the weight and size of your stool. Okay, so, and also it will soften the stool, and the bulky stool is easier to pass, because your and this will decreasing the chance of constipation. And if you have loose or the watery stool, then these fibers or these cellulose may help to solidify the stool, because it absorbs water and add the bulk to the stool. And that is why, students, fibers are very much important for us, for the easy passage of the stool. Stool means the excreta of the human being, which has to be goes out from our body through the anus. So that is why, students, it is said that uh, on uh, on the behalf of drinking the juice, it is much better to eat the fruit. Okay, because this fruit, it contains the cellulose, and that is the fiber, and these fibers are good for us. Though we are talking about ruminants, so let's continue it with the second topic, that is the cellulose digesting enzymes. So students, as I have told you that these cellulose is not digested by everyone, it is digested only by the ruminants, because in the ruminants stomach, in the stomach of the ruminants, uh, bacteria is present, which produces cellulase. What is cellulase? So it is enzyme, or you can understand it by a chemical. So bacteria, it will produces a chemical which is known as a cellulase, and this cellulase is breaking the complex cellulose into the simple glucose form, and this simple form is absorbed by the intestine of the ruminants. And in this we have to study about which bacteria. So we have many bacteria, but here I am taking two examples of cellulose digesting bacteria, that are Ruminococcus albus and Ruminococcus flavifensins. So students, these are the two bacteria which help in the digestion of the cellulose. And here one more thing, students, this name as Ruminococcus albus or Ruminococcus flavifescens, these are the scientific name. So that is why when you are writing the scientific name, you will write it in the italic language, or by underlining it. So you can choose any one method. Either you can write it in the italic way, or you can write the name by underlining it. And also the first name has to be in the capital letter and the second is to be in the small letter. So never forget about these two bacteria. These are present in the stomach of the ruminants, especially in the rumen part of the stomach. So students, let us talk about the nutrition in ruminants. Till now we have discussed about the plant cell, the cellulose. Now we are going to discuss about the nutrition in ruminants, how this is done. So the food of grass eating animals consists of plant material, particularly of grasses, and the grass is rich in the carbohydrate, that is cellulose. So cellulose is also a form of carbohydrate, as we have already discussed that this cellulose is made up of carbon, hydrogen and oxygen molecules. Humans and many other animals cannot digest cellulose because we don't have the enzyme cellulase or cellulase producing organism. The grass eating animals have a unique method of digesting cellulose, and what method they are using, let us discuss. So as you can see in the image, this is the cow. Okay, this is the image of cow, and here we have especially focus on the digestive tract of this cow. So firstly students, when the cow they eat it grasses, so this grass is goes into their mouth and thereafter it will passes through the esophagus. Students, this esophagus is also present in the human case also, and this is the pipe through which the food is goes down and reaches to the stomach part. So here students, the interesting fact about the ruminants is that their stomach is divided into four chambers. The stomach of the ruminants, they have different chambers or different parts. Different parts you can understand it by an example, like in our house we have different rooms. Suppose in the same way in this rumen also, in their stomach you can imagine it as a house. So in our house, that means in the stomach of the cow, there is there is four rooms, and all these chambers have different functions. Okay, so this is a special thing about the ruminants. Their stomach is divided into four different chambers or four different parts. So here the first part is that the rumen. The food first goes into the rumen, and rumen, it is the largest part of the stomach of the ruminants. Thereafter the food is again mixes with the reticulum. Students, the chamber, that is the rumen and the reticulum is also a chamber. The third chamber is omasum and the fourth chamber is abomasum. So the ruminants, they have four chambers. The first one is rumen, second is reticulum, and third is omasum, fourth is abomasum. So don't be confused about the chambers of the ruminant stomach. The food goes into the rumen and it will mixes with the reticulum region also. Reticulum is, it's somewhat a part of the rumen, but here we will consider it as a different chamber because the food, it will digested by the bacteria which is present in the rumen region only, not in the reticulum region. So this bacteria is only present in the rumen. So that is why rumen is considered as a separate part and reticulum is considered as a separate part, but there is opening present. The food is mixes into the reticulum region also. So then we have omasum, abomasum, and then after the abomasum the food goes into the small intestine. As you can see, there is some spiral part of the stomach. So this part is known as the small intestine region, and thereafter the last part of this small intestine, there is a broader range, that is the cecum region, and thereafter it will passes through the colon, and at the last it will reaches to the rectum of the digestive tract, and thereafter the food goes out from the body of the cow or the ruminants. So this is about the digestive tract. From it is started from the mouth, and it will end with the rectum region of these animals. So the teeth of the ruminant, students, it is important for us because there is the teeth of these animals are modified. That means, students, they do not have canine. As in the case of human being, we have discussed that the human being, our teeth is of four types, which are incisor, then canine, third one is premolar, and the last is molar. But in the case of cow or in the case of ruminants, they do not have the second type of teeth, that is the canines, but they have incisor, and incisors are well developed. The incisor of this ruminants are well developed because these incisors help in the cutting of the food, and at the last they have molar and premolar. Students, the molar and the premolar teeth, these are very broad. These are broader, and because they help in the chewing of the food, so they have the flat base also. So that is why they are chewing their food easily. So students, the question is that, have you seen a cow or a buffalo doing something while resting? What do you think? What they are doing when they are resting? If your answer is that they are chewing their food, then it is correct. Students, when the cow or the ruminants, they are in resting position, they are not eating anything, then they are chewing their food. And from where this food comes from? Do you have any idea? From where this food come when they are not eating, when they are only resting? Let us see it. What is the answer? From where this food comes into their mouth? So what they will do, when they will get the food, they simply swallow the or the fodder, and this food is stored into the separate part of the stomach, that is known as rumen. As we have already seen in the digestive system diagram, that the rumen, it is the largest chamber of the stomach of the rumen. So this food is first goes into the rumen region, and there it is stored. And in the rumen, the food, it is partially digested, and again this partially digested food is known as the cud. This is known as the cud. And students, this curd is again come into their mouth when they are in resting position. So now this answer is clear to you, that from where this food are come into their mouth when they are in resting. So this food is come into their mouth from the rumen region, and this food is now known as the curd. And what is curd? So curd is a partially digested food which is now present in the rumen, and when they are resting, this will come again into their mouth, and the food gets chewed by the cow or the buffaloes, and the saliva is mixed to it, and then it will again goes into the rumen region. So students, that is why these grass eating animals, they are known as ruminants, because they are doing the process of rumination. Rumination means the process of chewing the cud. Okay, so that is why they are known as the ruminants. Here you can see a chart. This will shows you the passage of the food. So how this will done? So here they quickly swallow the grasses, and then the grasses is passing through the esophagus region. Then this food is reaches to the rumen region, where this is known as the curd. So curd is what? It is partially. Partially means half digested. And this digested, half digested food then again come into the mouth of the ruminants, and thereafter, students, this after the chewing of the food properly, this will again goes into the digestive tract, that is into the rumen region. Then again it will goes into the rumen region, and there the bacterial action is takes place, because this bacteria is present in the rumen of these animals. Thereafter, this food is now goes into the several organs of the digestive of these animals, and thereafter the digestion is completed. So first let us see about the stomach of the ruminants. The special thing about it is, during the rumination, or when the food is again come from the rumen to their mouth, what will happen? The food is again chewed, and it is mixed with the saliva of these animals, and now it become pulpy or the semi liquid paste. And thereafter, the chewing, the pulpy food is passed into the stomach, and this stomach is now divided into four different chambers, which are rumen, reticulum, omasum and abomasum. So let us see about them. Here you can see the structure of the stomach part only. So first, from this region the food is goes, as you can see there is a esophagus region. So this, from this esophagus region the food is first entered into the rumen part. As you can see, the rumen part is a larger, it is the largest chamber of the rumens, and thereafter the food is completely mixed into the rumen fluid, or we know that there is the bacteria present in the rumen. There is the bacteria present, and which will releases the cellulase enzyme. So this food, when this food is come in from the mouth through the esophagus, it will first goes into the rumen chamber, where it is mixes with the bacteria, and then it will goes into the reticulum parts. Students, this reticulum part is it has a opening through which the food is mixes with it also. So rumen is not the separate part, but it is present in the reticulum also, but here it is considered as the second chamber of the stomach. Then this food is again goes into the mouth for the chewing purpose, and again it will come into the rumen part, and thereafter it will passes into the reticulum region, and from the reticulum region the food goes into the omasum part, that is the third chamber. Omasum is the third chamber, and thereafter the food goes into the abomasum. Abomasum is the fourth chamber, it is the fourth chamber, and thereafter it will goes into the small intestine. So students, this is somewhat similar to human being also, because from before going to the stomach, the food is passes from the esophagus, then it will reaches to the stomach, and thereafter it will goes to the small intestine. So this is somewhat similar, but here the difference is only that there is four chambered stomach. So what is rumen? And due to this rumen, these animals are known as ruminants. So what is rumen? So it is the first chamber, as we have seen that the food first come into the rumen region, and also it is the largest chamber, and here the digestion of cellulose takes place, because it has the bacteria which produces cellulase enzyme. And after the rumen, the food goes into the second chamber, that is the reticulum, and thereafter this will goes into the omasum part. So rumen, it is the first chamber, and never forget that it is the largest chamber in which the bacteria is present, which produces cellulase enzyme. Thereafter, the last topic is journey of the food in the ruminants. So students, this might be confusing that the food is passes through the several chambers of the stomach, and that is why let us see that from which chamber the food goes first or the second. The pulpy food is brought back to the mouth when the animal is resting. And from where it is brought back? Yes, from the rumen. So after chewing the food from the mouth, it pushes to the third chamber, that is the omasum, and this is the smallest chamber. So the largest chamber is rumen and the smallest chamber is omasum. Then from here the food enters the fourth chamber, that is the abomasum, and this is the true stomach. So if this question is asked to you that which part of the stomach is known as the true stomach, so your answer should be the abomasum part. So after this, the digestive juice is situated here to help in the process of digestion. From the fourth chamber, the food enters the small intestine and absorption of nutrients occurs here. Students, why this fourth chamber is known as the true stomach? Do you have any idea why only fourth chamber is known as true stomach? Yes, because this fourth chamber, it secreted digestive juices. As in the case of human also, the stomach, it will produce this digestive juice, and which is mixes to the food, and in the same way this fourth chamber, that is the abomasum part of the stomach, it will produce this digestive juices, and that will help in the digestion of the whole food. So here let us fill the digestive tract of ruminants. Students, the food first it goes into the mouth, then it will goes into the rumen part of the stomach, then again the rumination will takes place and the food is again goes into the mouth. And now this food is in the form of curd. So first the food goes into mouth, then again into the rumen, and then again it will goes into the mouth when the ruminants are in resting position, and in the mouth the food is chewed. So chewing is done in the mouth again, and thereafter it will reaches again to the stomach, that is in the rumen part, and thereafter it will mixes with the reticulum part of the stomach and the third chamber, then omasum, and at the last chamber the food goes into the abomasum region. Thereafter there is the intestine, which is known as the small intestine, and at there from there this food goes into the colon region. Colon is the, it is also known as the large intestine. And at the last the food comes out through the anus part. So this is the digestive tract. Try to complete it by your own also. Why do ruminants develop the habit of chewing the food cut? So students, this is question that comes in your mind, that why they are doing so, why they are again chewing their food. Okay, so students, this we know that this ruminants, they are herbivores, they are eating only herbs, and students, that is why they are also the prey for the predators. The predators or the carnivores or the omnivores, they are always in the search of herbivores or these ruminants, and that is why they are always in hurry, that they will just first swallow the food, then they will go to the safer place and there they will eat their food, they will chew their food. So that is why they have developed this special mechanism for eating the food again. So this is basically a survival mechanism. This mechanism is developed by them for the survival and for their food. The carnivores are on the outlook of the herbivores, and herbivores, to avoid being catched, quickly eat their food and then reaches to the safer places, and now they chew there and digest the food. So thank you students, thanks for watching this video, and keep on revising